Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burden, Nick, and with me by phone, we have listener Noah Zeleznik. How you doing, Noah?
Pretty good, especially after you pronounced it right.
You keep saying that. The last time you were on, I think you said that. And the thing is, like, you know, I know how to say your last name.
It's PTSD from all the years of school. Like it sounds like how it's spelled. You know.
Exactly. I mean, I look at it and I say it. You know.
But you did not have the same problem, I would imagine, in school.
No, the only thing that I had in school was, are you a Miller or a Mueller? Because there's the M-I-L-L or there's the M-U-E-L-L. But these teachers, it's like, it's literally written in front of you, so you should know that it's Miller. But anyway.
I digress.
I do digress. So today, and this is like a triple dose of me this week. Everybody's getting like extra Nick this week, you know? A little extra Nick in your life.
That's a STD where I come from.
Well, thankfully I'm not there because, I mean, that would put a crimp in the dating life, I suppose.
Well, you don't have to disclose that. I mean, remission is the same as non-existing, right?
I mean, I don't know. Ask somebody with herpes. I don't think it works that way.
Well, you know, what they don't know can hurt you for a couple months.
Yeah, for a little while at least, until suddenly you start flaring up and you're like, where did that come from?
They're fucking poison ivy.
Oh, Jesus. Well, today you and I are going to be smoking a cigar that's new to both of us. So this is going to be an interesting little experiment here. We have the Micallef Blue. I'm smoking a 6x52 Toro. Is that the size you have?
Indeed it is.
All right, and we're smoking this. Features a San Andreas Sumatra wrapper, Ecuadorian Habano binder, and filler from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. And according to Micallef, it is a medium. But you and I, we will make that decision.
Yeah, the panel of two.
Yes, exactly. We will fucking decide this. So, anyway, so why don't we go ahead and get this going and cut the cigar. And the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You will not be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and awesome customer service. And Noah, what more could you possibly want?
I can't think of anything. And as luck would have it, where do you think I got this Micallef Blue from?
My God, did you order from 2guyscigars.com?
I sure did.
Did you tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you?
I forgot. Would I have got a discount, or would they have charged me more?
It may have been more. I don't know. It may have been the pulpit surcharge. But please go over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. And when you do, tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. I don't think there's a surcharge. I'm joking. But anyway, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. So with that, we will now go ahead and cut the cigar. And I had to go back to my other note there on my phone because I will be needing that here shortly. So we're going to give this guy a cut and see what is what here. So how the hell you been?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. I can't complain. I mean, I'm digging the fact that I'm able to be outside finally.
Yeah.
In the summer, no recording from the car.
That's good.
So the deck is fully assembled, and the only thing I have to worry about now is June bugs, which were really cramping my jam last night, to be honest with you.
You know, they're about done here, but I am still dealing with cicadas.
Yeah, see, I don't have that, or at least they haven't made it up this far
Be happy.
north yet.
Be happy.
But I saw a June bug, and it was the biggest June bug I've ever seen. I literally punched it, and it hurt my hand.
Did it like look at you like, what are you doing, bud?
Is that all you got?
That's
bro?
all you got. I'll take you. No, dude, these fucking cicadas around here, they're crazy, especially here lately. They've been very, very noisy during the day. Thankfully not at night, but during the day, it is deafening outside with these cicadas. And I'm not even in an area where I'm experiencing the two broods at the same time. That is
I was going to say there's some hybrid shit out there
That's
now.
a select number of counties in northern Illinois, so kind of up near Chicago, and they're getting hit with the double brood. I think it's 2007 and 2011 broods or something like that. And oh my God, I'm seeing videos from up there where you look and it's just bugs everywhere. I mean, they're swarming, and I don't have that problem. I mean, they're plentiful around here. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I don't know if I could leave my house with what I'm seeing in Chicago.
It sounds like a Hitchcock film.
It really does.
It's just another reason not to go to Chicago, I guess.
We'll add it to the list of many.
After what they have done to the fucking poor pizza.
See, now, so you're not a fan of the Chicago deep dish?
No, I'm a traditional. You should be able to look through the fucking pizza to see it.
I get it. I like the Chicago pizza, but I like it for what it is. Like I don't like it as pizza, but as like a deep dish kind of casserole. I can get behind it.
I mean, that's an odd justification, but if I'm gonna do pizza, I want to do pizza. Although I will say they're they're Italian beefs. That's reason enough. They're the only way to do a hot dog, but they just haven't figured out the pizza game.
There you go. Okay. Well, let's do the cold draw on this Micallef Blue here. I'm very interested in this, given the fact that I have had the black before, and that's a tasty cigar. And the blue is the follow-up, and like you were saying, I don't know if you said it on the show or if it was the pre-conversation before the show, that this is supposed to be a little smoother, little easier than the black.
Yeah, that's what the general consensus I've heard. On the cold draw, I can really smell and taste that San Andreas, real earthy.
I was gonna say it's earthy, maybe slightly barnyardy, but earthy definitely is the component that comes through. Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna fire this guy up because I'm excited about this. This is, like I said, first time I'm trying the blue, and I've been sitting on this for a little while, and it's just one of those things. It kind of worked out well because I had it, and when I asked you, you said, "Well, I just got a box of the black and the blue," and I'm like, "Well, I think I might have at least one of those." So, and I found the blue, so it works out.
I will say in that regard, a bit of criticism for the fine people at Micallef. The fucking label to the black and blue, they should have went with the lighter blue. Like, I had them mixed up in my humidor, and it took me a good minute to decipher what was the blue and what was the black.
I will agree with you because I found this, and I knew it was one of them, and I had to study it very closely under the light to determine which one it was. Now, I guess I could have looked at the sticker that's on the cellophane because it actually said on there, but I didn't think to for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I did not see that either. So I'm doing the same thing, like studying like the Zabruder film, trying to find out if that's a shade of blue or black.
Well, and they're coming out with a new one. I don't know if it's later this year. I think it's later this year. The red, and all I know about that is they smoked it on the Cigar Authority, and I remember Mr. Jonathan saying that he thought that the red actually looked purple.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be I assume it's going to be a fairly dark red on the band on that one. So I don't think it's going to be quite as mistaken for the black and the blue. I wouldn't think, but if it looks more purple, it might be mistaken as the blue.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. But wow.
Did you retrohale?
I did. I just retrohaled. Sorry for the pregnant pause there for a moment while I did that. But, there is There is some peppery spice off of the foot, like right when you light it. Just that retrohale right off the foot. It is present.
That Nicaraguan coming through there.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, so yeah, before we get into kind of the fun of what we have to discuss today and everything, I have to vent for a moment. I am having a hell of a what?
Nick, is this gonna be about midgets wrestling again?
No. I covered all that with Joel on the bonus episode that came out on Thursday.
Did you buy any of those gentlemen a thimble of beer?
I did not. I did buy a $40 micro wrestling hat that I presented to my dad because he likes the ball caps and he wears them down to the racetrack. And last year I gave him a hat from the Bocock. I think it's Bocock Brothers or Bocock Cigars. And it's just a plain white hat with like a little black like silhouette of a rooster on the hat.
Oh.
And he wore that to the race, and he said he got a compliment from a nice young lady about his hat.
Oh, there you
so
go.
I know. So I'm like, hey, I should have kept that hat. But anyway,
Yeah, keep the trend.
I know.
Going.
But no, I got him a micro wrestling hat, and he wore the micro wrestling hat to the IndyCar Grand Prix that I went to in Indy in mid-May. It's the one that happens over Mother's Day weekend. So yeah, I'm finding interesting hats. But
I tell you what, if you haven't already, they are a good follow on the IG there.
I have followed them on the Instagram.
Okay.
And you're right, they are fun. And the thing is, you get a real kind of idea about their shows by following them on there, because you see all the high-flying acts and the reels and everything else that they post, but they just have these fun characters. And dude, it's so simple. It's just such simple. Look at me. You got me going on the micro wrestling again. You said you're not going to talk about micro wrestling again, and here I am talking about it, damn it.
There we go.
Yeah, well, you prompted it, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do love me a good midget wrestling.
Oh, dude, it was some awesome entertainment. Have you actually gone to one of their shows before?
Not that group. I went to like lower budget locally. I think honestly it was just some dwarfs they found it. What are you supposed to call them? I don't want to be offensive. I don't know. Like, to me, dwarf sounds more offensive.
Dwarf definitely sounds offensive, I guess. I don't know, unless you're like in a fantasy movie and you're going to throw a ring in a volcano. I don't think you're supposed to call them dwarves, but little people, maybe?
Because it's not just height, right? Like, there's other characteristics, like, because, like, Danny DeVito ain't a midget, right? Like,
technically, I believe under 4'11" is the definition of a midget.
So it has nothing to do with like
features.
Yeah.
No. I think the features come with the size. Well, not necessarily. I mean, because you're right. Like little people, I don't know. This feels like a conversation that's going to get us in trouble. So I'm going to say, I truly don't know.
Before we get canceled here, I will say a good watch is they have these little people like of different cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the little people. So my wife has watched some of those, and they're pretty addicting. I mean, they may be small in size, but that drama, that'd be big, you know.
Oh my God.
They get in some fights.
Well, let me guess, TLC?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Probably so. I swear,
I remember
it's
available on your Discovery Plus channel.
Oh, fuck. I remember when TLC used to stand for the Learning Channel, and now it's just the freak show of cable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's not as catchy when you call it that.
TLC. No.
Rolls off the tongue more.
It's like, hey, let's get 1,000-pound sisters, and let's get, dwarves and midgets and God knows what, and, what was the one? The little girl.
Oh, Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo. I mean, for fuck's sake, you know.
Oh God. Yeah, that is a circus of a channel. Just kind of like I remember when the Travel Channel used to be traveling. Now it's like 90%
I was
paranormal.
gonna say it's all ghost hunting and
Yeah,
shit now for some
yeah.
reason. Yeah.
Which is okay with me, but like I mean, it's not really. They're not really doing so much traveling, I guess.
No,
Um,
no, I know.
this is not Anthony Bourdain, you know.
I mean, yeah, it should. Yeah, what happened? There used to be this really attractive blonde woman who would go and do all this traveling all over the place. She wasn't like
Iro-
she wasn't like the like a supermodel kind of blonde woman, but like she was very attractive, and she was always so chipper and happy, and she would travel everywhere. And I just used to think, my God,
Yeah,
she's got
that sounds
such a
familiar.
great life,
Yeah.
and
Well,
and
that's what I thought. That's what I thought about Anthony Bourdain too.
yeah, well, that's true.
Apparently not.
Evidently, we were wrong on that one.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is they could do a crossover with the ghost shows and him.
Oh, you're
Oh, too,
look
too
at
soon.
look at
Too
you
soon.
taking it fucking dark.
That's what I do.
Well, it's kind of the same. Animal Planet. Fucking Animal Planet. One of the shows I love from Animal Planet is fucking Treehouse Masters.
Wow.
It's the dude who builds tree houses, very elaborate tree houses, but it's all about this guy building tree houses. And it's like, what does this have to do with animals? And I guess it's about nature.
Does, does he
Kinda.
does he subcontract through squirrels or what?
Yeah, no shit, right? But I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this should be on HGTV, but this is on Animal Planet, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. But anyway,
That's his life.
so speaking of houses,
Oh, that is a segue.
right. I got a bitch for a minute. So everybody, I've mentioned it on the show that I am in the process of looking, for new housing, and there's a lot of things that just are pissing me off, and I gotta be a curmudgeon and I gotta vent for a second. First of all, what the fuck is up with the housing prices these days? I mean, look, all these houses are a solid $75,000 to $100,000 overpriced. It's insane. Everything I'm fucking looking for is way overpriced. Shit is not selling for what it should be selling for, and it's insanity. And I don't know if it started during COVID or what, and it's just not settled. But it's ridiculous. I mean, my realtor is telling me how a house will go on the market on a Thursday. They'll do showings Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe do an open house on Saturday, maybe not. And then by Monday, the seller is sitting down with their agent, reviewing the offers, and by Tuesday, it's under contract. So it's like it's like 5 days, that houses are available. So if you don't pounce on it right away, you're fucked. And
Good time to be a realtor, I guess.
oh my God, you would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Then you find something and you like it, like I did this week. I found one on Tuesday. Loved this house. Admittedly, it was kind of old, so I was interested in what the inspection was going to find. But the house itself was absolutely gorgeous. It was perfect. It had everything I needed. It was modernized. It was new. And it even had a little outbuilding that had electricity that I could have made a badass studio out of. And I put in an offer for $5,000 over asking price. And, and I can close right away. I mean, I can close quickly. I think the minimum amount of time in Illinois is 30 days. So, like, it could have been a very quick close. And they ended up getting 5 offers. No, 6. 5 offers. I'm sorry. There were 6 There were 6 showings after my showing, and I was the first one to freaking walk through this house the day it went on the market. And then there were 5 total offers. And I ended up losing out because they were debating between 2 offers, and then the one that ended up getting it apparently said that they would do something with assessment costs, and they would waive any sort of repairs needed or found by the inspection, and they offered more money than I did. And so it's like, it's just insane, that you get into these bidding wars and now you're stuck. And, and I hate getting excited about a house because I just feel like if I get excited about it, it's going to get the rug pulled out from underneath me. But then on the flip side of that, you don't want to be investing, $200,000 into a house if you're not excited about it. You should be excited about the house that you're looking to invest in. And so it's just pissing me right off that everything is so overpriced. And look, I get it. Housing, materials cost more and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I think that's look, I'm not saying it's a bullshit excuse, but it goes in there are various reasons for that. You had some supply chain crisis during the COVID pandemic. I would think a lot of that has been taken care of by now. I think the bigger issue that has caused a lot of problems in this country, not just as it relates to houses and the building costs and everything. I think one of the bigger problems that you have in this country is that somehow we've convinced ourselves that a $15 minimum wage is a good idea, because all that did was just drive up the prices on everything. I'm sorry, but if you're working at McDonald's and you're expecting to support your family on, minimum wage, then you're fucking stupid, and you should be going out and finding a different job where you can make more money. Don't be content being a 45-year-old guy working at McDonald's flipping burgers and demanding $15, $16, $17 an hour.
That's why they brought in those machines.
Well, and that's the other thing. You have all those freaking kiosks to order from, and that's why when you go to Walmart and Target and all these places, half the checkout lanes are self-checkout, and that's if it's half. It might be even less than half are less than are manned lanes. Now they're all self-checkouts. But nonetheless, that plays a role. And people are like, well, I'm struggling. I'm making more money. Yeah, you're making more money. But in the process of demanding that you make more money for a job that was never supposed to be paid in that kind of a manner, now the prices on all the goods have gone up. But again, that's neither here nor there. But in the flip side of this, you have these fucking landlords that decide to come along and jack up the rent on all these places because houses cost more. Why should I not be able to get more money out of rent? And so, the other half of my duplex is being renovated. And all fucking day today, starting at 7:15 this morning, I have them over there installing flooring and cabinetry in the kitchen. And it's been from 7:15 this morning until 3:30 this afternoon, with a brief break for them to go to lunch. I had constant hammering, sanding, and like 3 or 4 guys yelling at one another throughout the unit, or singing along to whatever bullshit music they're playing on the radio. So like I'm one wall separated from a construction site and having to listen to all this, and I work from home. I mean, I could have packed up and left and gone somewhere else today, but I shouldn't be driven out of my home,
No. You should get like a reduced rent on this or something.
You would think, right? But instead, what's happening is my landlord's telling me, oh, when I finish the other side, you need to move to the other side that's been finished, or find somewhere else to live. And oh yeah, if you move to the other side, it's $1,400 a month. Fuck you.
Dude.
I mean, I can find and that's my point. I can find a mortgage that's cheaper than $1,400 a month.
Yeah.
But the problem is finding a fucking house. So, anyway.
Honestly, I don't think there's much more stressful things than buying a home. The whole process.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, the whole moving, the whole packing up,
That's laborious, but the thing about it is that's at least easy. Packing and moving, it's labor, it's time, it's intensive, but it's simple, Whereas like you're buying a house, my God, the paperwork you sign on all this shit, and you're reading all this, and it's legalese, and you're trying desperately to understand it, and you're signing your life away on every single fucking form. And, and then you get your financing in line, but that's only good for 90 days. And then if you don't find something in 90 days, you got to go back to the bank and go through the mortgage process again. And, the pre-approval and all that. And it's oh my God, Anyway,
all these hidden costs, all these hidden fees.
fuck, dude. So this is the second house that I put an offer in on. The first one, we got to the point where I put an offer in, and I had an inspection done. The inspection came back with some items that were rather serious, and basically the deal fell through. Well, that was a $770 inspection
Yeah.
that resulted in nothing. I mean, it resulted in me not spending, $185,000 on a house that had a shit ton of problems. But on the flips, so I guess that's a plus.
Right.
But I mean, it's still $770 that
Yeah, you're out.
you're out.
Yeah.
And so, so it's not realistic to be like, going around and, tapping into houses and finding a bunch of shit wrong and moving on to the next one and just putting money in inspectors' pockets all the time. So, fuck. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, there's a few things more stressful than, and like now with the whole bidding war thing, it's just making it hard. Like, I feel for you, man. Like,
and the thing, it's nothing like. So I bought my last house, my first house. Now it's my ex-wife's house in 2010. Okay, totally fucking different market. That was a buyer's market. This is obviously a seller's market. In the buyer's market, dude, I was able to come in at a lowball offer. He sent me a counter offer with a higher price. I did the inspection, or I had somebody do the inspection. I didn't do it. And, we found a few things on the inspection. We went to him and we said, look, here's the deal. If you take the price of this, and this off of the total, then we can have a deal. And that's what it was. It ended up being. I bought a house that was in 2010. I bought a house that was built in 2005. So it was 5-year-old construction, 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $120,000.
yeah,
And
crazy.
the house next door to it just sold this year for $220,000. And let me tell you, that house next door, it had a worse floor plan than the one that I had. So like, I don't understand. That's why I'm saying I'm looking at these houses and my God, everything is so overvalued. It's so overpriced and ridiculous. And I wanted to get to the point. I've been hoping that I could stay in this duplex until the prices came down to where, because look, interest rates, they'll fluctuate and yeah, they're high right now, but they'll come back down over the course of a 30-year mortgage to where you can refinance. But a purchase price, you don't get the opportunity to renegotiate that. That is what it is, So I've been waiting on the prices to come down. Well, the prices aren't coming down, and my subfloor is spongy as hell because of water leakage to where I have spots in my hallway that I have to physically avoid stepping on because I'm afraid I'm going to crash through into the crawl space. And
That's an embarrassing phone call.
no shit, right? Hey, come and get my ass out of the crawl space in the floor that collapsed,
It reminds me of that scene when Cleveland's taking a bath. Oh no!
No. But yeah, anyway, all right, I've vented. I have vented.
That's, dude. That stresses me out. That's how stressful the whole buying process is. Fuck it. I'm just glad that I'm not dealing with that.
Well, and here's the thing, tiny houses. That's been a big trend in the last couple of years. And don't get me wrong, I follow like a little tiny house account on Instagram that I look at. Now, I look at tiny houses and think, boy, I would like that in the backyard of one of my main house so that I could make like a podcast studio and a smoking lounge and, like a little, that kind of thing. I don't want it as my main fucking house.
Your tiny house is my big shed, right?
That's what I'm saying. And I don't know if this is some sort of like, deep state conspiracy to try to get us to all be happy living in like, dinky little houses and everything. I don't know why, but whatever,
You'll eat the bugs and you'll live in the small house.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't know. Boy, I've seen a lot of that too with these cicadas. People are like, "Oh, you can eat the cicadas." Why the
you fucking can?
Why the fuck would I want to eat cicadas?
Yeah, you fucking can. And these bigger ones will probably eat you.
They taste like peanuts. Fuck off. They don't
Do you
taste
know
like.
what-
You're the
do
same
you know what-
person that's going to tell me that fucking mashed cauliflower tastes like mashed potatoes. Bullshit. It
Yeah,
tastes like
yeah.
fucking cauliflower.
You know what tastes like peanuts? Fucking peanuts. How about
Fucking
that?
peanuts. And you know what? Peanuts aren't expensive. I mean, they're probably more expensive than they should be right now. But oh my god. Anyway, fuck.
I think I have a solution.
What's the solution?
We go down for Pulpit Fest, and we just don't leave Ash and Ale. We just live in there.
We just squat. It's like,
Yeah.
sorry, Ken. I'm squatting in the humidor. It's mine now.
I have rights, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is mine now.
Yeah.
I'll be oh fuck, I'll be like one of those what is it, the pirates, the Somali pirates. It's like I'm the captain now, you know? It's like
the meme, yeah.
Oh shit.
Here's a house buying question I always wanted to know.
Okay.
All right. Don't take your current situation because you're probably more desperate than you would be normally, but let's say an ideal housing thing. You look at the house, it checks every possible box you could have, right?
Yeah.
And it's the cost, everything is just perfect. Everything's perfect. And you go right before you sign your name on the paper. The realtor's like, well, Mr. Miller, this all sounds great, but I got to tell you here, there was a murder-suicide in this house. Do you still go along with it?
I mean, I think that should have been disclosed early, you know.
Let's say for argument's sake it isn't.
Well,
do you live in a murder-suicide house?
I definitely cleanse the fucker with sage quite a bit before I move in. Let's put it that way.
So you're moving in.
You know, that's a good question because I mean I've got the ghost that shakes my bed here at the duplex.
Exactly. You're in no position. You are in no position to move into a murder suicide house.
I mean, it's one of the I've got the top hat man haunting my dreams. I've got that. Yeah. It's like
they'll just have a party.
I've got the whatever the hell that pinched my armpit that time. I mean, it's
that was Jerry Pulaski for me.
Oh, okay. He crawled out. Well, see, that's fucked up too because there's no crawl space access on my half of the duplex. It's on the other half. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I'm sure in the meantime, if you are without a place, you could probably find a lot of abandoned buildings in East St. Louis to live.
Oh, dude, if I want to live down there's a lot of property available down there. Let me tell you. There's a lot of property available in some rather economically depressed parts of my region, but there's one town in particular that's really close to me that is a fairly large city, and that there's a lot of houses available for it, but that's because that town's on decline, and I would prefer to not buy into the town that it's fairly obvious everybody's moving out of. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, it's fucked. It's just completely upside down. So I don't get it. I mean,
there's buyers and sellers, right? But like you said earlier, like I don't see this turning around for a while yet.
I don't either. Because here's the problem: these landlords are pushing people like me out with their higher prices. And so what's happening is you have people like me saying, yeah, I can get a mortgage for cheaper than this. And so, houses in the sub 200,000, dude, they're getting snapped up so quickly. And if it's not people like me that are like looking to escape a higher rental situation or something like that, it's young couples that are just starting out. So starter homes. What starter homes? And new construction. Let's talk about new construction for a moment. New construction around here, I'm sure elsewhere it might be more expensive because admittedly, I live in a part of the country with a fairly low cost of living in terms of housing and that sort of thing. So, I mean, my God, you go out to California and these prices are sounding like dreams to people out there. But, around here, new construction is starting at $300,000. And the quality of those builds is ridiculously bad. I mean, they're put together. They're shacks. They're poor quality materials, and the only thing you have going for you is you have a fucking home warranty. And granted, that's better than nothing. But why should I have to have a warranty Why can't I just have something that's built to last?
They don't do it any like they used to anymore,
They don't
man.
do shit like they used to anymore. So, yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, we as a country should be embarrassed by the housing crisis.
Yeah, I mean, all we can hope is it bounces back soon. But yeah, who could, like you said, and this is like you have, the funds to put down a down payment. A lot of people don't,
Right?
and like rent is like crazy, like fucking 2 grand around here a month if you want a
That's
place that's decent.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, for me to find a 2-bedroom apartment, granted, this was 3 years ago. I was looking at that. For me to find a 2-bedroom apartment, it was starting at $1,200 a month.
Mhm.
I found this duplex and I got a good deal on it. Granted, it's falling apart around me now, but whatever. But I mean, fuck, it's just insane. It's
And
absolutely insane.
And to do what we're doing now in most places, you might as well be fucking painting swastikas on the fucking
Well,
ceiling. You know what I
that's
mean?
that's the other reason I don't want to rent and I don't want to consider like a condo or something like that because I like to sit outside and have a cigar. And
Yeah,
holy God, if I have, if I'm sharing a wall with somebody or I mean,
exactly.
I can't put up a little smoking shed / recording studio at a rental or a
Yeah.
condo or something, it's like, and I don't want HOAs and all that other bullshit. HOAs, that ought to be fucking outlawed, but that's a whole nother discussion.
That's
But
the other. That's the other curmudgeon.
yeah, well, he and I agree on that one. Let me
Yeah.
tell you.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
he and I definitely. That I
Mm.
mean, I have been avoiding homes with HOAs.
Yeah,
You
they
know.
could do it. They basically, it's like the mafia, basically.
Yep, yep. I avoid
Mm.
HOAs and I avoid septic tanks. It's like
Ooh.
I want sewer.
Yeah, my parents have lived in the country a couple of times, and just the nightmares they've had with septic tanks. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Anyway, all right. Well, my rant
Well,
is over with,
you know what? That was a legit rant.
dude. It
It
is
was
it.
legit.
Look, I've held a lot of this back from the show because it's like whatever. But by God, this today it is just overflowing. I mean, I woke up this morning at 7:15 to hammering and bullshit. I managed to go back to bed for about an hour by turning on. I have a podcast that I listen to called 8 Hour Sleep Music on Spotify. Dude, no, this fucking podcast is unreal. Each episode is closer to 9 hours. They say 8 hours, but each one's closer to 9 hours long. The first minute is the guy like introducing the thing, kind of talking about it. And if there's any ads, they put it right at the very beginning. I've only encountered one episode that had an advertisement. They put it right at the very beginning, and then they go right into the sleep music. And it's either music, or in this case, the most recent episode was like rain hitting a forest floor. So, like a floor of like dirt and leaves, and everything. And so it's just 8 hours of like nature sound, whale songs, and brown noise, and green noise, and pink noise, or whatever the fuck kind of goddamn like staticky noise. But like, this shit is amazing, and I have found it, and it works so well to help me get to sleep. But I cranked it I put it at full volume today to try and drown out the hammering. And let me tell you, when you have a thunderstorm worth of rain going on your nightstand next to your head, it's still a little difficult to fall asleep. But I managed for about an hour,
Do you,
and yeah.
do you have like those like dreams where you incorporate sound into your dream?
Uh,
Like
you
if
know,
you're like if you're like super tired and sleep deprived, like you'll hear your alarm go off, but your brain is like, no, that's gonna be part of this dream actually. No.
I will. I would think maybe the only thing I'm really bad about remembering my dreams. But what I will say is that uh, I have a nasty habit of hitting the snooze button to where oh
Hmm.
shit, some bug just hit me in
Oh.
the mouth and landed on my shirt. Anyway, I have a real nasty habit of hitting the snooze button to where I'll find by the time my brain finally kind of wakes up and I look at the clock, I've probably hit the snooze for over an hour, every
Yeah.
9 minutes for over an hour. And it's like, I don't remember that at all, but evidently I did it. So, whatever.
I think the sleep app could just probably make things easier for itself if it just played fucking nonstop Nora Jones music.
Oh, God. You want to really put me to sleep. Play some fucking Tracy Chapman. Oh, God. You know, everybody was all about her with fucking, what is it, the Grammys earlier this year with that country version of Fast Car. And I have never, I have a visceral dislike of Tracy Chapman and that song in particular. I don't know what it is. I just cannot stand it. And when that was going big with, I don't even know the fucking country guy that sang it, but it's like, I'm just thinking I like this version better because it's not Tracy Chapman, but God, I still just detest this song. So
you just lost all your Tracy Chapman fans.
I know. I'm sorry.
The Venn diagram of Tracy Chapman people and cigar smokers.
I don't know how much they interact, but maybe they do. I mean, you never know.
The world is a magnificent place.
It is. It is.
So that was a sufficient rant, and I could tell stuff was bothering you for a while that you didn't want to talk about it, but when something is so encompassing, like your whole life, where am I gonna live? What am I?
Yeah.
It's hard not to .
And dude, and like I said, today it just kind of overwhelmed because I woke up, I got a text from my realtor this morning telling me, yeah, they took another offer on that house. So I had that. I've been kind of moping about that today. And then at the same time, I've got, the goon squad next door making all that noise. And, then I start looking at the apps again. I mean, I've been joking. It's like, I'm not even looking at the dating apps. The only apps I'm swiping left and right on these days are Realtor and Zillow, and it's like, I mean, I'm not, it's just ridiculous. But I start looking at other houses today, being like, okay, gotta get going, gotta find something else to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at them and I'm like, I've looked at this and I've dismissed it. I've looked at this and I've dismissed it. Oh, I toured this one and this one was no good, and it's like there's just nothing available right now either.
And then as you run out of time, you have to settle for a place you don't like.
And the last thing in the world you want to do is fucking settle on a house that you're spending this kind of money on.
Yeah, and then, you come dissatisfied. You have to do the whole process over again.
Yep.
It's just what you should do. You should find yourself a rich widow. Move in with her.
There you go. I do need to be hitting the dating apps, but I need to be looking for specific things.
Like, what is it? Ourtime.com? You can say you're 80, just a youthful looking 80.
I can be curmudgeonly enough to be 80 at times.
Well, I mean, just play this podcast.
I was going to say, just listen to this, My God, back in my day, chicken used to cost $5. Now it's $10. Anyway.
Cicadas were smaller.
Oh, fuck. And between that and then I had my snake infestation of the house,
I would, dude. I have a side gig during the summer where basically as a way not to have snakes murdered, you go ahead and you give me a call and I will take that snake and I will move it to a safe location.
I have not seen him since the day he was up in the soffit of my carport, so I'm sure
he's
moved on.
Yeah, but I'm sure he, ate and left. But that would have been a prime example. I would have went over there and got him down,
Yep.
Taking a selfie and on we went. But that's neither here nor there. But.
Yeah, he was dude. I could tell from the head. And, him kind of extending out and looking around from up high, he, I think that was a big damn snake.
Well, even before the pictures, based on the description that you sent me, I was like, okay, this is what we call Pantherophis behavior. So the Latin name of this snake is Pantherophis obsoleta. It used to be Elaphia obsoleta, but it's textbook. I want to climb shit. So
yeah.
Yeah.
He got up high and he was scoping it out. So
if you would take a look at their tail, you could tell why they do so much climbing. It's essentially prehensile.
Okay.
But
well,
a lot of tail. Anyway, on to later news.
So what are you thinking of the cigar so far? I'm about
that's a good point,
through the first third on this thing, and I will say it is definitely more mellow than the black.
Okay. I've been doing less talking, so I'm probably a little further along than
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
But yes, totally more balanced. I don't know if I prefer it over the black yet. It's hard to tell, but yeah, I would say definitely balanced. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the difference between the West Tampa Red to the West Tampa Black.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so the red seems to be a little more balanced and refined
Yeah.
to me. So I prefer the red over the black, and I mean that could be the case with this blue over the black. But I will tell you one thing: this does not smoke or taste or any perform like any $8 cigar out there.
No, dude. For the price on this thing, it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kudos to Micallef for coming out with not one but two really good cigars at an $8 price point.
Yeah,
so
blindfolded, I'm going probably 15.
Yeah.
10, certainly in that 10 to 15.
Look, there's $15 cigars that I've smoked that don't smoke as well as this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Well, why don't we do this now? It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarillo manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. So because I've done 3 of these this week, I haven't watched shit. So you and we're doing something different. Now, the last time you were on, we did...
I'm going to interject here quick.
Okay.
I am glad that you were doing this, too, because I haven't had time to watch it. My latest thing, and my wife introduced me to it, and we're kind of doing is YouTubing, and this is a rabbit hole, if you want a rabbit hole.
Oh, boy.
YouTubing DUI arrests. Oh, God.
DUI arrests?
Yeah, so a cop will pull a chick over.
Yeah.
She's drunk, and they had that footage or whatever, and then they, release that on YouTube. Oh, my God. It is a hoot and a holler.
You getting ideas as to how to avoid, getting in trouble?
No, I have ideas of how to get in trouble.
Oh, okay.
It's like you watch a dozen of these, and they're all the fucking same, essentially. Oh, it's always 2 beers. There's always 2 drinks.
Always 2. I only had 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, it's if nothing else, like I said, it's a rabbit hole to go down, but it is entertaining. So I'm glad we're doing this segment because that's all I've been watching.
Okay. All right. Well, that's an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Mm-hmm. But the last time you were on, and the last time we did, I'm revisiting the top 10, kind of segment here in the Villiger.
And I did not realize that I was going to be a trendsetter with that.
You threw that out with the top 10 gangster films, and that worked out really well. So yeah, I've since done horror movies with Brinker, and I've done action movies with Dave, and so now you're back and we're revisiting this. But because apparently you only watch like one fucking genre movie or only watch one actor, we're gonna do the top 10 Robert De Niro movies.
Okay, all right. Let me introduce. Okay, Robert De Niro is the greatest actor of all time, and it's topical, right? Because the shit he's doing. Like, full disclosure, like, I'm as fucking right wing as you could probably get. So obviously, I don't agree on anything politically that he's standing for, and so it's kind of like with this latest stuff he did in New York. I felt like my parents were fighting or something. I was caught in the middle. I didn't know.
Like, why are you making me feel this way?
Yeah, don't make me choose. Don't make me choose. And I don't know what it says about me, but far and away, De Niro's my favorite actor. Huge liberal. My favorite author, far and away, Stephen King. Huge liberal. Right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not that way at all. But
see, you can respect their art without, getting into the weeds of the politics.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with my wife, too. It's like, at what point do you separate the man from the work, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like, De Niro, like, to me, his political stance just makes him a bit, and we kind of talked about this last time, it just kind of makes him a better actor, like, because none of these roles that he's playing are... like it's acting, right? So this whiny liberal that he is. I mean, that's none of his characters are whiny liberals. If you, so that just says to me that he's a more powerful actor. That's more credence to his acting. And yeah, we were talking about at what point do you separate the, like, you know, you could say Michael Jackson. Oh, I like his music, but you know, the fucking the kid. I'm sorry.
The allegedly fucking the boy.
Allegedly,
Yeah.
and that's ignorant.
That's ignorant. That's
You're being
ignorant.
ignorant.
You're being ignorant.
Yeah. So at what point, dude? I remember, not to age myself,
fuck.
but I remember when that interview he did that. I forget what network it was on, but it was an interview, and this guy gave him so many outs. He's like, he had said, well, there's reports, Michael, that you sleep and nap with these children. You don't actually do it. Of course, yes. I was like, no, Michael, just no.
All you have to do is just say no. No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's not true. Yeah.
And he just fucking leaned on it and, you know, sat down. And that was good. That was good TV, I tell you. But yeah, so separating the person from the art, you know. I mean, Van Gogh seemed pretty fucked up, right? But like his paintings are still good, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with that spirit, we're gonna do the top 10 Robert De Niro films.
But
for me, because
not,
we did the gangster countdown last time, and a lot of those were De Niro movies. We thought that it would be best for, you know, not to include any roles that he played a gangster in.
Precisely.
And for me, that was no big chore, because, not to sound like a creep or whatever, but I own every single Robert De Niro movie ever made. and that says more to, like, yeah, I like him, but it also says, like, I just don't know when to give up. Like, I have to collect everything, you know.
I get it.
You like, yeah, you get it. And so for me, it's like, and when I say every De Niro movie, I don't mean like, oh, it's just the hits. I mean, like, starting from his first cameo in 1967 to, you know, the last film he did, just an abundance of films.
So what you're telling me is you do own a Shark's Tale.
I do own a Shark's Tale, and I love a Shark's Tale, especially when you get to be, you know, a father with a child who can appreciate a Shark's Tale. You get to relive it, and it's actually I didn't realize, or maybe I did, but I forgot. But I had rewatched it fairly recently, and I forgot that, like, Michael Imperioli's in that movie.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well,
I mean, animated Michael. I mean, he's not.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you know. Well, here's the problem. By cutting out the gangster movies, I have a list of 9. Because, look, I took a look at his IMDb. There are a number of movies he's been in that I have not seen. There are a number of movies that he's in that I don't remember him in them. And so because I don't remember him, I don't want to, you know, claim him on my list and be fake about it. So I stuck with movies that I remember him and that I appreciated and liked him in that were not gangster movies.
And I appreciate your integrity there, Mr. Miller. And as I was able to come up with a list fairly easily, but it kind of presented me with a little different of a problem.
Okay.
In the sense that
you had to parse it down.
No, that too, but it's like, okay, the movie might suck, but De Niro's performance was so good, right?
Okay.
So a recent example of that is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, so I didn't. It's not on my list.
Incredibly long. Like, you could have shaved it out. Like, Scorsese's done this thing with The Irishman and now Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
We're talking like 4 hours, man.
That's
like
too much.
That's too much of anything.
Yep,
like,
that's too much.
Yeah, and that's the final product.
Look,
right? Like,
I'm a
what did he fucking edit out?
Look, I'm a giant nerd. I love my comic books and everything. But when I go to some of these comic book movies that are like 3 hours long, I'm like, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
You know? It's
just
like
fucking extend it by like an hour and make 2 movies out of it.
Well, or here's an idea. You know, everybody's shitting on physical media these days. All these stores are getting rid of DVDs and Blu-rays and everything like that. Here's a thought. do like you used to do. Put out the theatrical version and then do an extended cut, on home video later. If you really want to put out the extended cut, do it later. Don't fucking do it in the movie theater. It's like, or if you do, don't get mad at theaters for putting in an intermission in. Because I had heard that Scorsese was getting pissed at theaters for putting a intermission in Killers of the Flower Moon. And, they were threatening to, like, yank the movie from those theaters and this and that and whatever. And it's like, for God's sakes, it's too long. Let the people have a bathroom break.
It's too fucking long.
Yeah.
And that movie, it was, I don't want to say it's boring, but it added the extra hour that it made it kind of boring, right?
It looked kind of boring.
Yeah.
I saw previews and I was like, I have no interest in this.
Yeah. So, like, De Niro was really good in that, and he was actually nominated for a Best Supporting Actor for that, and he nearly won.
Yeah.
And so, again, to defend De Niro, the people yelling at him about him not being relevant anymore, that was like, you just got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Like, that's,
yeah,
he's still relevant. But yeah, so it's like I had that challenge, or another challenge I had too is like, let's say he plays a smaller role in the film, like Joker comes to mind. Great film, but it's like, De Niro had such a minor role in that, in the big scheme of things. Like, you don't think of the Joker as a De Niro movie as much as a Joaquin Phoenix movie. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we might have words about that later, but I do agree with that.
And before we get started with the list here, I think you should use this as an opportunity, and I can recommend, the movies you haven't seen. I can tell you if you should see them or not, or as well as the listeners, and you could have some ammunition for Renee for future Villiger segments.
There
here.
you go. I like that idea.
And so I think, as tradition, we go ascending, correct?
Yes, we're going to go ascending. So we're going to start at, well, in your case, 10. In my case, I'm going to forego 10, and then we'll catch up with me at 9. But yeah,
you're hitting me with some math here. I'm like 4 beers in.
So you can go first. Go first with number 10.
Okay, not to drag it on or belabor the point anymore, but I must say, as a callback to one of your recent episodes,
oh boy,
the concept of a fucking drive-in, oh man, to be able to smoke and drink, I mean, is
it not just fucking freedom, like just compacted into one little place?
Yeah, and I remember as a kid going to like drive-in, but that's long closed. I don't even know where the nearest drive-in is.
Like I said, there's apparently less than 300 left in the United States, and the one that's 15 minutes from my house, USA Today named the number 1 in the nation. And
see, that's why you have such a hard time getting a house. Everybody wants to
be there for the Skyview drive-in, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. It's a great experience.
All right, so without further ado, number 10, and I would say this is probably the most recent quote unquote great film De Niro's done.
Okay.
Silver Linings Playbook.
So I saw that on his list
Mm-hmm.
of movies that he's been in, and I will freely admit it's one that at the time I was thinking, I might see that, and I never did. I never got around to it.
Well, I would definitely recommend it. It's a really good film, and it holds up for multiple viewings too.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how your feelings are about Bradley Cooper or what's the chick's name?
I don't mind Bradley Cooper.
What's the chick's name? I can't. Jennifer Lawrence.
I definitely don't mind Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. So yeah, they do good.
Although I heard she doesn't wear deodorant.
I wouldn't even care if Jennifer Lawrence had armpits. Okay.
I'm just saying, she's one of those hippy dippy liberal, or Hollywood types. Brad Pitt's another one. I hear he doesn't wear deodorant. I hear he stinks. But anyway, neither here nor there.
This is going to be a 3-hour podcast.
I know.
One of my favorite Brad Pitt stories. Not favorite. This is more
fuck,
of a,
we're going down the Brad Pitt hole.
This is more of a Mike Tyson story than a Brad Pitt story, but
okay.
I just forever think of this when I think of Brad Pitt. So in early 1980s, Mike Tyson, heavyweight champion of the world, baddest man on the planet, he is dating this actress, Robin Gibbons.
Okay.
And he thinks everything's, going good. And she basically breaks up with him on live TV with a Barbara Walter special.
Oh shit.
She basically breaks the news to an unmedicated Mike Tyson, and it's very awkward. And so they like officially broke up.
I mean, I
Like,
guess if you're going to break up with Mike Tyson, having millions of people watching is probably
yeah,
the safest way of doing it,
that,
but
yeah,
also probably the most fucked up.
yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think about it. Like I see what you did.
Yeah.
Gibbons. So anyway, so they lived together, of course, and they broke up officially, I guess, soon after. And then she started seeing or dating, or Brad Pitt was involved somehow as a love interest.
Oh, okay.
But this is Mike Tyson's home, and Mike Tyson was making the bulk of the money back then.
Uh-huh.
So he comes home one day and sees Brad Pitt. And
Oh, no.
and he confronts Brad Pitt. Keep in mind, this is prime heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. This is not fucking.
I wouldn't want to fuck with Mike Tyson now.
That's valid.
Yeah.
But this is not, happy grandpa. I smoke weed every day. I'm gonna fight fucking Jake Paul. This is yeah. So he confronts Brad Pitt in his house, and Brad Pitt immediately throws himself on the floor and grabs a hold of Mike Tyson's legs and begs him not to hit him.
Yeah, because he knows he's going to get killed.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's all I can picture is when I think of Brad Pitt. And like you said, yeah, I mean, I guess that's how you handle that situation. But
that's how I would handle that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I probably wouldn't be sticking my dick into Mike Tyson's woman if I were, a smart guy. But
I would not be. I would not be sticking my dick in Mike Tyson's girlfriend in his house.
Definitely don't go to the house, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that's
holy shit.
He regrets that, I'm sure.
That is a set of balls on that man. But okay, anyway, all right. So what's your number 9?
My number 9 is a film, and it gets overlooked a lot, and it's a true shame because it kind of shows this comedic side of De Niro. A lot of people, especially younger people, think the only comedies he's ever done is like Meet the Parents and those. But this is like prime. I want to say 89, early 90s De Niro. So like prime De Niro. Midnight Run.
Okay.
It's a good film. It's got a good plot. De Niro's funny. It's a really easy watch. Like, I would recommend that to anybody who hasn't seen it. Just a very easy, top to bottom film. Just Charles Grodin's in it. It's
I do like Charles Grodin.
If you like Charles Grodin, you'll love this. You'll love this movie.
Dude, there's some actors that like are just in a certain time period. Charles Grodin is one of them. Who was Dabney Coleman is another one that like he really was only big in like a certain time period. It seems,
because we referenced Charles Grodin, made me think of maybe the most ridiculous film ever made was, I can't think of the name of the film, but I remember when it came out, I was probably like 8 or something, and I can't remember the name of the film, but Charles Grodin plays a father of a son, and his son is Martin Short, but Martin Short is like a 40-year-old pretending he's 10. And it's the most ridiculous film ever. It's like a 40-year-old Martin Short pretending he's like 10 years old.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So number 9, Midnight Run, very underrated, very, very good film.
All right. Well, my number 9, truthfully, is only on this list, so I could stretch it to 9. And this is the one that I told you in the pre-conversation that when I say it, you may very well hang up on me. But my number 9 was his role as fearless leader in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh my God, that is that is that is obscure. Obviously, I do own the film. I
I
have
was
seen
gonna
it.
ask. Do you?
Uh,
Okay.
the most interesting thing to me about that film is I remember watching the special features of that film, and I don't know if it was commentary or some little aside they did, but the makeup that they had to do for De Niro, I forget what product they put in his hair,
Yeah,
but is not meant for hair. I want to say something like oil or like Vaseline or something,
that's
just
about
something.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, something to hold it and to give it shine, and that took just hours in makeup
Oh God.
to get that just all on his hair.
Anyway, it's not a good movie, and I totally
No,
understand. But
why?
dude,
God,
I had to
I have so
stretch
many
it.
questions.
I had to at least stretch it to 9. I couldn't come at you and be like, I have 8, but like
Ironically, he's that character almost mobster like.
almost mobster like, but not,
But the fact that you have a 9-year-old, I'll give you a pass, I guess. Maybe like you recently watched it. I don't.
No,
You
no,
know.
unfortunately, I can't even say that. So
See, I was trying to give you an
I know
out.
you were. You were giving me my Michael Jackson out,
I was
and
gonna
I
say,
and I
much like the
leaned and I
interviewer.
leaned on it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, and you just being ignorant.
I'm just being ignorant. God, I like the Rocky and Bullwinkle. You being ignorant.
Oh God.
All right, what's your number 8?
Number 8. Another, and I'm probably gonna say this phrase a lot. Another very kind of overlooked film. Yeah, a movie called Ronin.
Okay, I saw that on his IMDb, and I remember it, but I don't remember it, and so that's why I didn't add it to my list because I'm like, man, I feel like I've seen this, but I don't think but I had no recollection of it whatsoever.
Okay. For nothing else, one of the greatest car chase scenes I've ever seen in a film. It's like
Hmm.
right up there. It's right up there with a Bullet and Steve McQueen. It's just,
Okay.
but yeah, it's a good
I still think the best car chase scene is probably the French Connection.
French Connection's got a good car chase scene. Yeah.
That is a ridiculously good car chase scene. But anyway,
Ronan's got a good one. Good film.
okay.
It's kind of a slow burn. I don't know really what genre or what film you would compare it to per se, but
Isn't he CIA in that or something?
there's so yeah, it's kind of like it's something kind of like
I
that.
thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to compare it to a film. I don't really. It's kind of like a hybrid of different films.
Yeah.
There's a definitely a heavy emphasis on cars.
Okay.
So like if you're into, I don't want to dare say in the same breath as Ronan compare it to something like Fast and Furious or
It's not
anything,
like a
but
car movie, but it's got a heavy emphasis on cars.
no, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it's a good film. It starts kind of slow. It's kind of a slow burn. So like, I don't know. Like, I'm a little hesitant to recommend it, just because you might not give it the old college try. But
Okay.
if you do see it beginning to end, it does hold up. It's a good film.
Okay. Okay.
It's got a lot of great scenes in there.
Well, there we go. Well, my number 8 is Las Vegas with Morgan
Ooh.
Freeman and Michael Douglas and Kevin Kline. The 4 of them go out to Vegas because Michael Douglas is marrying some like really young chick, and they go out to party in Vegas. And I like the movies where like you see these older actors kind of getting together and just going off and having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it was
Yeah,
fun. So
yeah. That you took the word out of my mouth. Yeah, that was a fun movie.
it's
I
a
enjoyed
fun
that.
movie. So I
Mhm.
enjoyed Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was well done. Yeah, I enjoyed that one as well.
Okay.
And it is that's a fairly recent film too,
Yeah, I was like what was it 17?
something like
Something
that.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was a recent movie.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Where are we at now?
number 7.
7. Okay. I have a movie, and I don't want to say it's overlooked or underrated because it is pretty highly acclaimed, but a lot of people kind of forget about it, and when they start naming De Niro Scorsese collaborations, and
Okay.
it's one of the first ones they worked on together, and it was a movie called King of Comedy,
Okay.
and it stars Jerry Lewis, and to do kind of a throwback, earlier, basically De Niro plays the Jerry Lewis character in Joker. Okay,
Okay.
so he basically, and I think he even admitted that in an interview that basically, yeah, he was inspired a lot by the role Jerry Lewis played in Keenan Comedy as his role as, I can't think of his character's name, in the Joker, but yeah, that kind of that over the top, the over the top talk show host,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
to the listeners that haven't aren't familiar with the film, it is essentially about De Niro as a struggling comedian called Rupert Pumpkin,
Okay.
and he's a stand-up comedian, and he and actually, there's, now that I think about it, there's actually kind of parallels between Joaquin Phoenix's Joker character and De Niro's Rupert Pumpkin. So
Okay.
in other words, Joaquin Phoenix is playing the De Niro character. De Niro is playing the Jerry Lewis character in Joker. But anyways, so he's a struggling comedian, and he's really kind of just delusional. He lives in his parents' basement, and the mom, you'll hear yell down in the basement, is actually Scorsese's mom, who
Oh,
is
fun.
he uses her a lot. Like, she was in Goodfellas. I'm sure you knew that, right?
I did not actually know
Oh,
that. So.
she's the one that's cooking them all a meal when they come over, and they got the.
Oh.
I like this painting. The one dog looks left, the other dog looks right. Reminds me of somebody we know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
so she yells down, and so he lives in the basement, and he paints the walls to look like a crowd, like cheering and stuff, and he's really delusional, and so he wants to get on this talk show. It's kind of like a Johnny Carson type thing with
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis, and so he thinks the only way he can get on there is to kidnap Jerry Lewis.
Oh.
So
Okay.
so that's essentially the plot
Boy,
of the
there
movie.
are
But
a
yeah,
lot of parallels between that and the Joker.
yeah,
Well, and it's ironic because my number 7 is the Joker.
okay.
So it's kind of appropriate timing for
Yeah,
that to be on the
this
list. So
and this was not planned. We did not go over anybody's
no,
list.
no.
All I knew is Nick got to 9. That's all I know.
That's all you knew is I got to 9, and I did kind of hint that the Joker would be on my list, but
Okay.
yeah, it and admittedly it's fairly far down the list because you're right, it is a very small. He is a bit player in that movie. I mean, it's obviously a Joaquin Phoenix movie,
Right.
but I would argue that he's still a very important role in that movie because
It's pivotal, I would say.
yeah, because he definitely like pushed Joaquin Phoenix to the edge with things, and everything. So yeah, you could make a real strong argument of his importance in that movie, but
And that's the thing. And
but he
that's the
wasn't
thing
in
about
it a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing about De Niro is he has such a way of just like stealing a scene or stealing a movie from So it's like you think like, oh my god, he's in this movie more, but it's only a couple scenes or whatever. But yeah, he does play like a what's the word, a launching point, a trigger point of that film
For sure. So
but yeah, I do the Joker, man. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that film overall, but I have a tradition of seeing every De Niro movie in the theaters, right?
yeah,
And I saw that movie in the theaters, and I have never had this experience of the movie where I laughed. Like, I felt like I had like mental illness. Like it was so well done and so dark, and it's just like I've never had a movie really affect me that way. Like, it's just like it really, you really got in the head of Joaquin Phoenix, and
yeah.
it was really, if I was to describe that movie in one word, I would say unsettling.
I would agree with that. And especially when you kind of take into account, like, given the ending of it, you don't know if it actually like went down or if it's just all in his head and he's just been in the insane asylum this whole time.
Did they not just sign on for a sequel? Or are they filming
Oh,
a sequel?
there's a sequel, and the sequel is coming out this summer, and it is a musical with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn.
Okay, well, I'm out.
The trailer is already out, dude. Like, no,
you had me at sequel, but you had me. No,
no. Look, they're taking a huge gamble with this sequel. It is definitely going to be way, way out of the norm in terms of these comic book movie sequels. Although, to be honest, Joker was a very out of the norm comic book movie. That was not your typical Joker movie.
No, it certainly was not. And actually, Lady Gaga is actually not that bad of an actress. She was in one of the American Horror Stories, and I thought she did pretty well.
Yeah, and then she was also in that one with Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Right.
Walk the Line? Was it Walk the Line?
No. You have Joaquin Phoenix on your mind.
You're right.
It was God. The audience is probably yelling. I never saw it, so.
I didn't either, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah,
because they won awards for it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the Google.
Yeah, shit. I don't care enough to do that. So anyway, what's your number 6?
Number 6. Number 6 is a movie called Copland.
Okay, I've heard of that. Stallone's in that one, right?
Yeah, it's star-studded. It's actually, don't quote me on this, but I believe it has more Sopranos alumni than any other film.
Really?
So it's got. Let me see. So it's not that. Oh fuck. Not that. He's in it. I mean, Ray Liotta's in the film. Not that he's in The Sopranos, but
yeah.
So it's Ray Liotta, Stallone, Harvey Keitel, Michael Rappaport. But then there's like a lot of smaller and like cameos, like the chick that played Gloria Trillo's in it.
Okay.
I want to say Janice is in it.
Okay.
And there's like, there's like, God, I should know this, but yeah, there's like 5 or 6 actors of Sopranos ilk.
Interesting.
In it. But yeah, it's a really good film. And the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good film. But I didn't really quite grasp how good it was until I read watch it with director's commentary, and he described it as an urban Western. And that really kind of just put the movie in perspective, and it totally is. It's just a modern day Western.
Okay.
And if for no other reason to watch this film, De Niro eats a sandwich in one of these scenes, and it's like the best example of anybody eating a sandwich. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, he steals the scene by eating a sandwich.
I mean, that could be the most fanboyish thing I've ever heard, by the way.
Yeah. I think it's probably like a YouTube, like, you could probably type in, like, on YouTube, De Niro eating a sandwich.
And that would come up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Copland. Well, my number 6, you mentioned it earlier, is Meet the Parents.
Okay.
I it's the only one of that series I've seen. I liked it, but when it started getting into like Meet the Fockers and all the rest of that and everything, I was just like, all right, we're done. I don't need to beat this drum, but I enjoyed Meet the Parents. I thought it was a fun comedy. And I thought it was nice to see, because again, my experience with De Niro is much more limited than yours, obviously. So, seeing him in a comedic role, I thought was a nice change of pace.
Yeah. And, it's a good film, and it holds up pretty well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the sequels suck. What was it? Meet the Fockers and then Little Fockers.
Yeah.
They just really drain that. Yeah,
as they tend to do with things like that, So
and I kind of have this opinion about horror movies too. Like, if they would have stopped at just one, how better that it would make that one film. Like, if they would have stopped at just one Saw, oh man, like you'd be thinking like Saw, but like all these cheesy sequels kind of ruins the initial movie.
Final Destination,
Yeah.
There
you go.
I mean, exactly. There's a whole bunch of those that we can name off, but that's a Brinker episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're now down to our top 5 here. Real quick, why don't we talk about the cigar? Because I am like right knocking on the door of the final third of this thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at the final third, and the retrohale definitely is picked up in the final third.
Okay.
So that Nicaraguan's really coming through. But yeah, smooth. No touch-ups required. Just Yeah, see,
Yep.
you know what
Nope.
I'm talking about. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it definitely. Oh, Jeebus has picked up. You're right.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I would agree. Probably more refined than the black.
Yeah.
A little more balanced. Good cigar, and probably a contender, as we were talking about our boys from the Cigar Authority. I'm thinking.
I think so. I think it definitely needs to be in the conversation. And I could very easily seeing it making it into the contenders.
Yeah, and that'd be a back to back if it won.
Yeah, I don't know if that. I mean, I don't know. I've never actually looked over Dave's list to see if that's ever happened, but it would be impressive.
None come to mind. I
Yeah.
know, like Cigar Aficionado. I think EP Creoles won back to back, but
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, but yeah, this is a very good cigar.
Nope.
No complaints.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot. So, okay, what's your number 5?
Number 5, a movie called Deer Hunter.
Okay.
Deer Hunter, just a fantastic film.
I remember selling many, many copies of that movie when I worked at the video store in the mall back in community college days.
Okay.
I remember back then it was a 2 VHS set. It was, 2 tapes.
It's kind of long.
Yeah.
Probably, at least for me, most known for one of the most gripping scenes of any film I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's where they're forced to. For those listeners who don't know, it's about it's about these group of friends that end up going to Vietnam during the Vietnam War.
Oh shit!
And that's another one where you could have just shaved off an hour of that film. Like there is a scene, the wedding scene,
Okay.
that's literally like 45 minutes, and it's like we don't need a 45-minute wedding scene.
No,
right?
no.
But it has one of the most gripping scenes of any film I've ever seen, where they're taken prisoner,
Okay.
and they're forced to play. It's him and I can't think of the other actor's name, but Christopher Walken's also in it.
Okay.
And so the three of them are forced to play Russian roulette,
Oh shit!
and it is fucking just, it is gripping and just, yeah, it's that film is worth seeing for that scene alone.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to add that to my watch list at some point.
Yeah.
So
it has a lot more gripping. It's a lot more gripping than a scene from, let's say, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Okay. I'm sure it is. Well, my number 5 is one that I saw it for the first time in the theater. It was one of the local theater around here was doing like a special thing on, I think it was maybe Saturday nights. It was, you'd go at like midnight and you'd see an old movie. And it was like maybe $5 to get in or something like that. But I saw Taxi Driver.
Oh, okay.
And, at the time, I don't think I appreciated it as much as, I think I could now. But I do remember being just, it's an utterly disturbing movie.
Mm-hmm. That's a great word.
It's just a disturbing movie.
I'm going to reserve commentary.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It theoretically may appear.
It theoretically may appear later, but yeah. So, all right. Well, then we'll circle back to that potentially later.
Yeah,
so what's your number 4?
My number 4 is and this is probably a lot of people's list. I think it would make this list. Heat.
Okay.
It's a Michael Mann film. It's loosely based on, I don't know if you remember, like early 90s, they had that shooting in LA where those guys came out with like AK-47s and whatever, and a bank robbery gone wrong.
No.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's a fantastic film. Val Kilmer's in it. Fucking
Oh God.
Danny Trejo's in it. It's just a fantastic film. You don't have to be a De Niro fan. It's just an action film all the way through. It's 2+ hours, probably like 2.5 hours, but it flies by.
It does fly by, and it's one that I had on my gangster movie list. Even though arguably, I mean, he's a criminal. He's not necessarily a
Yeah.
gangster, but I had it on there, and so that was one that you and I did agree could be on this list as well. And so, no spoilers. We can circle back on that one later too. But yeah, it'll reappear in the conversation.
Yeah, and kind of as we're talking about this, it made me think. I don't know how familiar you are with the latest antics of Mr. De Niro, but he was calling all these people gangsters.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar, but okay.
Well, it's probably for the better.
Probably for the best.
Ignorance is bliss.
In terms of probably what I think you're talking about, that has kind of been my attitude for a number of years now.
Yeah, I was gonna say news in general.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard with your profession, but at least you have local news.
Yeah, see, I only stick local. I don't pay attention to anything really beyond that. Every once in a while, I will dabble into state state news. Like, for example, around here, instead of calling, what is the term? Hang on, I'm gonna bring this up. This is one of these utterly fucking ridiculous things that I encountered recently, and yeah, so Illinois, they have passed a law that has been sent to the governor, and in it, we are going to start calling legislation that's going to start calling people, instead of calling them offenders, they will be justice impacted individuals.
No, they're still going to be offenders.
Yeah, I know, but according to the law, they will be justice impacted individuals.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway.
Ugh. Yeah. So you avoid all the you report on cicadas and DUIs. So
exactly. I like to be. I take care of the local shit. I leave the bigger shit alone.
No, that's better.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is in the Illinois area, but to get to the papers up here in Wisconsin, which are known for drinking, you ain't making the paper unless you have at least 8 OWIs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
Those are rookie numbers.
I don't really cover actual individual DUIs. Now domestic violence things, I get press releases about people that have been arrested for domestic assault and things of that nature, and I have no problem running that. People start hitting on women and children and whatnot, then I have no issue putting your name and picture out for that. But
no, I see your I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was your number 4 was Heat.
Yes.
Okay, so my number 4 is one that there are just obviously 3 movies that are higher on my list, but Raging Bull.
Oh.
I know that you're probably sitting back going like, how is that number 4? But I know, but Raging Bull is my number 4. All right. Well, you know what? And you're the big boxing guy, so I will just say that number 4 is Raging Bull, and we can move on to number 3.
Well, you could feel free to comment all you want on that.
I mean, it's an amazing movie, and the black and white just really drove home the film as well. It kind of added a raw element to it, and no, it's a fantastic movie. But I had three others that I thought I liked, that I personally liked a little bit more, and but you
can't be wrong. You can't be wrong.
Well, no, it's an opinion thing, but it's just one of those things that for my taste, these other movies appealed to me more. But Raging Bull, I take nothing away from it. It's a fantastic movie.
Fair enough. Does Rocky Bullwinkle make the appearance on top 3 again?
No, Rocky and Bullwinkle is only it is solidly at number 9, and realistically, if I had seen more movies with Robert De Niro, it would not have made the list. So let's put it that way.
Like I said earlier, I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, no, it is purely there only to flesh it out so that I wasn't leaving you hanging on 2 spots and just not just one.
Like I said, it gives you homework.
It does. Well, and I asked you about analyze this, But you're like,
No,
no,
that's
he's
against
a,
that.
he's a
Yeah, that's
gangster in
against
that, and I'm
that's
like,
against
all
it.
right,
Yeah.
all right, it's like
Paul Vitti. Yeah.
I will acquiesce and I will take that off. But I figured with it being more of a comedy. But did you have that on your list for the gangster?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So I get it.
Lower on the list.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't remember exactly, but yeah.
but still. So okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what's your number 3?
Cape Fear. Cape Fear.
Amazing movie.
Amazing movie.
Amazing movie.
Another Scorsese collab there. It's actually, a lot of people don't realize that. It's actually a remake.
Yes, it is.
And what I love about this remake is it's better because it has De Niro, but it has a lot of the original cast that are in roles in the new film. So De Niro's role was played by Robert Mitchum, who makes an appearance in the film.
Okay.
And then Nick Nolte's character was played by Gregory Peck.
Yep.
Who's also in the remake. So
no,
it's just and you don't have to be a De Niro fan. You don't have
dude. It
you
is
just be a movie fan.
It is a top flight thriller.
And fucking Max Cady, just one of the greatest characters ever made. Just
him fucking cackling in the movie theater
with a cigar. Let's not
yes, forget. Exactly. I mean,
back in the day when men could be men and smoke cigars
wherever the hell they wanted to. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, great film. If for listeners who haven't seen it for whatever reason, fucking just watch Cape Fear. You won't be fantastic. I like to watch it around 4th of July every year. Not that it's a 4th of July film necessarily, but
yeah,
it takes place around the 4th of July. So, I quote that film fucking nonstop every day. Usually just to my dogs who don't know what the hell I'm saying. But,
well, and my God, it inspired one of the greatest episodes of The Simpsons too. It's like your name is Mr. Thompson. I think he's talking to you. It's like, oh my God, that bit. I fucking crack up every time when those FBI agents are trying to get Homer to recognize that his name is Homer Thompson, and he's like, not getting it, just not getting it. So,
when you, I think it was the last episode, you're describing Branson based on the Simpsons episode.
Yeah, yes, fucking Branson is Vegas if Ned Flanders built it.
That is forever how I will think of Branson.
Exactly, it's just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck. Okay, so my number 3. I don't know if we're getting fairly high up in your list, so I'm gonna assume
three.
I'm gonna assume it's not on your list, but it is one that appeals to me in so many aspects of my life, and it's funny. It's bizarrely accurate in its execution. The book I feel is definitely better, but that's with a lot of films. Wag the Dog.
Wag the Dog. There we go.
Fucking Wag the Dog. Dude, I'll tell you what.
That would appeal to you. Yeah.
As somebody who has worked in politics and has done the media spin and all that kind of shit, Wag the Dog is eerily accurate in terms of how the staff and the media, or I should say how the staff manipulates the media in such a way as to deflect from something important to something that is not relevant in order to get people to stop talking about the other thing,
Mm-hmm.
And dude, we're in election season, so we're in full spin mode now.
Yeah.
So,
not to get too political, but with today's things, like,
right?
This is very topical.
It's very topical and very relevant. It's like, hey, don't pay attention to what's going on over here. Pay attention to this here. And my God, that movie, they create the fake war in Albania, I think it was.
Something like that.
That.
It's been a minute since I've seen it.
But they're filming war sequences and sound stages and shit in order to put this. I mean, it's just, oh my God, that movie, is just so incredibly impressive. And I thought he was really great in that. So, yep, Wag the Dog.
Yeah, I did not see that on the bingo card, but that's the beauty of that's the beauty of these lists. certain movies appeal to others, and it kind of showcases, hey, check this film out, what you would have overlooked, and kind of brings light to this. And
Yep.
I haven't seen. Actually, I'm gonna have some homework myself. I haven't seen that film in a minute.
There you go. All right. So what's your number 2?
As you can probably guess, we're getting to the top 2 here.
And there are 2 that are conveniently missing off of your list so far that I think I've hit on already. So yeah.
So no surprise, Taxi Driver, number 2.
There you go. Okay.
Fantastic film. It came out in 1976, I believe, and 76 was just a tremendous year for movies. It probably would have won Best Picture had it not been for a movie called Rocky that came out that same year.
Yeah.
But yeah, just top to bottom, I have watched that film probably, 30 times. It's good. For my money, not to reference another De Niro movie, James Woods plays a pretty good pimp in Casino.
Okay. Yep.
But for me, the best pimp ever was Harvey Keitel in Taxi Driver. a sport. Just great. Jodie Foster. It's kind of disturbing. But
it's super disturbing.
I didn't make the fucking film, guys. Okay? She's a 15-year-old prostitute. She's actually like 15, and it actually kind of resulted in some Americana. So, God, of course, I'm drawing a blank at the guy's name, but he became obsessed with
Hinckley.
Jodie Foster. Hinckley, yeah.
Yeah, John Hinckley.
So he tried to assassinate Reagan to impress
Jodie Foster. Yep.
Jodie Foster, who was 15. But
and Jodie Foster would have had no interest in him because isn't she a lesbian?
Yeah, but was she anything at 15? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, at least at this point. Well, she wouldn't have been 15 at that point. She would have been closer to 20. Because that was, 81, right?
The Hinckley thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably something like that.
So she would have
been illegal, yeah.
She would have been 20 at that point.
But yeah, just I mean, it's just every
I'm not justifying anything, okay? I just want it noted that I'm not justifying an attempted assassination.
It certainly sounds that way. And
thanks.
Ironically, that is the least disturbing thing you've said as far as this list. The fact that you have Raging Bull number 4 hurts me more than
I know. Well, seeing this,
but so like just that scene where he's trying to woo Sybil Shepherd and what is it? Bob Einstein's brother. Was it? What's his name?
Oh,
Brooks something.
Albert Brooks.
Yeah. So just I mean, just if you want to look at just acting personified, just the way De Niro, not to gush, but just the way he just deals every scene with just, I mean, that's we're talking prime De Niro. A lot of people's probably favorite film of De Niro overall. It's probably a lot of people you're going to ask is going to be Taxi Driver.
Yeah,
fantastic. I would imagine most of the listeners have seen it, but if you haven't for whatever reason, or just view it again.
Look, it may be one of those ones that people are aware of, but maybe have never gone and seen. So
it's I mean, and the ending is so epic, and so it's just is that the get your kids home safe bell?
No, that is an actual train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is an actual train. We have missed the get your kids home safe bell by 42 minutes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that happened 42 minutes ago. Okay. But anyway, so my
I see your train in a raising dog market.
Yeah, I would say we have other noises, but that's okay. At least my neighbor's noisy air conditioner isn't running anymore, so I got that going for me.
No carpentry.
Yeah, no carpentry. No carpentry. So my number 2 is Heat, as we discussed earlier.
Okay.
I really love that movie. It's stylish. It's in terms
that's
of
that's a good word, stylish.
It's stylish. It's a great crime movie. One of the best shootout scenes put to film. And I think the last time I talked about this movie, I had to bring it up, and I'm bringing it up again. It's got one of my absolute 100% favorite lines, and it's not from De Niro. It's actually from Pacino when he says, "She's got a great ass, and you've got your head right up it."
Yeah,
and God, I have used that so often talking to like friends about like their girlfriends or whatever else. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. So,
So if you know anything about filmmaking, um, so not to geek out or whatever, but so De Niro technically was in a movie called Godfather 2 with Al Pacino,
he
but of
was
course he played young fucking
Vito.
yeah. So they never shared a scene, obviously. So the big thing about Heat was, oh, they're going to finally share a scene. But if you know anything about filmmaking and the way it was shot, they were never actually in the same scene together. This is all like split and stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of further down the list. They did a movie called Righteous Kill,
Okay.
where they were actually in scenes together, and that was probably the actually only movie where they actually technically worked together.
Huh.
But yeah, that one diner scene again, reason alone to see that film. Just two epic actors in their peaks at the time, and as we're discussing De Niro, probably one of my other favorite actors is Nicolas Cage, and it bothers me that De Niro's never worked with Cage. You think like they've existed around the same time, they've done
Yeah.
so many films. It's just their paths have never intertwined. But
So there is a theater in St. Louis called the Arcadin. It's a very small little movie house. All right. And the last Wednesday of every month, they have an event called Drinkaless Cage. And what
I'm in.
and what it is you go there. You have no idea what movie you're seeing. It's a Nicolas Cage movie. That's all you know. And when you get there, they give you the sheet that has the rules for the drinking game. And basically, it is a drinking game based entirely off whatever Nicolas Cage movie you're going to see. And I've done it twice. I'm trying to remember the movies. I don't remember. God, the one I don't remember the name of it. He was like an animal, like a hunter.
Oh, it was a fairly recent movie.
Yeah, it was, and he was on like a ship, and all the
Yeah,
animals got out, and so it's kind of like
yeah,
Under Siege.
Beast yeah, it's a good film. I
It
want to say like yeah,
oh, but
I know what you're talking
it
about.
was so incredibly cheesy, but it was so
Primal. Is that it?
primal. That's it.
Primal. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and it was so cheesy, but it was so wonderful watching that, and just everybody's just having such a good time, and I would see the outdoor showings, so it's out on their patio, and you bring a lawn chair, and they have a screen set up, and they project it out, and so everybody's yelling out like drink, and all whenever. But it's so over the top and ridiculous. But yeah, no, Drinkless Cage. They do it at the Arcadin the last Wednesday of every month.
Yeah, not to make this about Nicolas Cage, but I know you're a comic book guy, and I was never really into comics growing up. I collected a few, but
Yeah.
one of the only comics I ever actually collected, just because I really appreciated the artwork, was Ghost Rider.
Okay. And he did two
And
of those movies.
yeah, and so I was really pumped when he did Ghost Rider, and I fucking loved them, and I'm fucking sick and tired of defending these fucking films to everybody, but I think they're fucking great.
The first one was definitely better than the second, but
The first had a different plot, but the second one kind of was more true to the comic book, I thought.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just everybody shits on those films. Everybody shits on a lot of Nicolas Cage films.
I was gonna say, I think
recent films.
I think it's definitely the in thing to do.
So a little Nicolas Cage anecdote. So I lived in New Orleans for a short while.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine worked at. He was a mover. He was involved in this movie company, or moving company, and there's a special section of the warehouse called the Nicolas Cage wing.
Yeah.
Where he would just order over the top, because I think I don't know if he still does, but at least at the time he had a house in New Orleans.
Yes.
And,
I think he sold it.
Okay, and so he would order just the most elaborate, like Nicolas Cage type purchases, and never pick them up or never have them delivered. So like this warehouse would have 10-foot Spider-Man sculptures and just the most.
Well, he hit
Nicolas
some financial issues there for a while and had to sell a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So That makes sense. That tracks that he'd have a wing
that checks
of
out,
a warehouse that's just sitting there with a bunch of shit that he ordered that he didn't pay for or something like that. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I love Nicolas Cage, but that's a podcast for another day, I suppose.
All right, number one. I think I know. I know exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's no surprise to anybody. It is Raging Bull, and not only does Raging Bull make my favorite non-gangster Robert De Niro list, not only does it make my favorite De Niro movie list, it's straight up my favorite film of all time.
Okay.
Raging Bull, favorite film. We got Scorsese, we got Pesci. Just, obviously my boxing background. It's the story of Jake LaMotta. It's just so magnificently shot. It's just, I cannot think of a single flaw of that film. It's just, for me anyway, the greatest film ever made.
Okay.
Raging Bull, and De Niro won Best Actor 1980 for Raging Bull. The only other Academy Award he has won. He's been nominated a bunch of times, but the only other Academy Award he's won is he won Best Supporting Actor for Godfather 2. So Raging Bull and Godfather 2 are his only Oscars, and it just I say less, I guess. Greatest film ever made for my money.
No, I mean, fair enough. I like it. It's a great movie. I'm not as into boxing as you, so
and that's the thing too. Is like I'm almost hesitant to kind of list it as a boxing movie. Obviously, boxing is like the main thing. It's about middleweight champion Jake LaMotta, and it's based on a biography he wrote called Raging Bull. It was from what I understand, it was actually toned down from what his real life was.
Really?
So let's say his real life is rated R. This is like PG-13, which is, if you're familiar with the film, this is definitely not a PG-13 film.
No,
but,
it's not.
But yeah, just a fantastic film. But I'm almost hesitant to even classify it as a boxing film, just because it to me it's just so character driven. So it's just I think the best example of just character arc and pathos and just everything you want in a film, and just the cinematography, the sound, everything is just perfect.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, my number one was Cape Fear.
I mean, not a bad choice.
No, I mean, I know that it was further down your list, and so I held off on commenting. But I mean, I really do enjoy. Cape Fear. It's just one of those creepy, movies. Like I said, that scene in the movie theater, man, that's the one that always comes back. And I know it's one of the classic ones from that movie and everything, so a lot of people reference it. But it's just so just. It's just creepy. I just keep coming back to creepy. That's the best word I can describe it with.
And that's a lot to do with De Niro. It's a lot to do with Scorsese,
it's huge with De Niro.
Yeah. It's one of those films where you just can't see anybody else doing that.
No, he took that role and ran with it, man.
Yeah, which is ironic considering it is a remake, and so you literally can't think of somebody else doing that film. But just De Niro really just captured that film. So.
Yeah.
That's a solid choice for number one.
There you go.
And realistically, it would probably be a lot of people's, maybe not one, but towards the top of that list, I would think.
I would think, especially I said, especially if you take the gangster movies out of the picture.
Yeah, it appeals to the masses, and
sure.
And that's a good point too. Is like we got these top 10, Rocky and Bullwinkle and some of the other ones withstanding. These are some great films, and we're leaving movies out like Godfather 2. We're leaving movies out like Casino. Movies out like Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, yeah. Bronx Tale,
Bronx Tale.
Once Upon a Time in America, I mean, there's a lot of movies that were left off the list.
And if your listeners want a full list of these movies, refer back to a previous episode. But
yes.
Yeah.
Well, good. This was fun. This was good.
Yeah. Enlightening. And like I said, to the listeners or to you yourself, Nick, that haven't seen any of these films, write them down, launch them, ammunition for the Villiger segment, just,
For sure.
ammunition to fill your day when you're not stressing about housing,
Yeah. Or maybe when you are and you want to get your mind off of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, I have finished my Micallef Blue.
As have I. So,
Fantastic cigar.
yeah, fantastic cigar, balanced, nuanced, gun to
Definitely
head.
smoother and creamier than the black, but
So
still.
gun to head. Gun to head. What do you got? Black or blue?
Oh shit. It's been a minute since I smoked a black. So right now I'm gonna say blue, but I think what I really would like to do at some point, and you have the ability to do this, and I'm a little jealous of that. I think it'd be fun to fire up both of them and to
Yeah.
bounce back and forth between them a little bit and kind of compare and contrast them.
I might do that, and if I was a little more prepared, we could have come up with the Nicolas Cage top 10, and we could have done Micallef Black, and it could have been a 3.5 hour.
I was gonna say then it would have been a 3 hour podcast. I mean, shit, as it is, we're knocking on the door at 2 hours at this point.
Yeah,
so
it flies by.
It really does. It does. I mean, shit, my housing rant was 40 minutes practically. I think so.
It's needed. I mean,
I needed to get that off my chest. I appreciate you putting up with me for that because I needed to vent.
Hey, if you need some shoulders to cry on, I got broad ones. You know what I mean?
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Oh shit. Well, why don't we talk about fucking good coffee for a minute? So, fucking good coffee, it's put out by our friend Nick Gervais. And guys, you can go over to fucking good coffee and you can try out all kinds of different flavors. The lounge blend goes with every cigar. But obviously, all the coffees are designed to go with cigars. So, I mean, you really can't go too wrong with any one. But the lounge blend really pairs nicely with pretty much any cigar. And, it's a great way to start your fucking day. You want to get your day off on the right fucking foot. You got to drink some fucking good coffee.
An ideal pairing would be a fucking good cigar if you had those.
That would be a really ideal pairing, and you can get that over at mymonthlycigars.com. Assuming he still has some left. I don't know. I haven't checked in with him about that. I know the last time I did, I think he said he had this was a little bit ago though. He said he had 20 of the packs left, but I don't know where he's at with that, to be honest, right now. So, yeah,
get them while you can.
Yeah, because when they're gone, they're gone. So that is accurate.
Until next year, for what I understand.
Yeah, but I don't know if the blend's going to be the same.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So if you want to try this one, you're going to want to get in on it. And trust me, as somebody who smoked 2 of the 3 that he sent me, it's a fantastic cigar. It's a fucking great cigar.
One might say.
Yeah, one might say. So yeah, make sure you check out the fucking good cigar and definitely, get yourself some fucking good coffee.
Nick, I know this is I guess technically the last one would be kind of a bonus. So, but listeners aren't used to three
they are
episodes.
Not. They are not
with your luscious tones, but
my luscious tones.
But what about our old friend Joe Exotic? What does he have to say?
Oh, you want to do that bit? You know what? Fine. We can do that because you know what? I haven't piped that up. But hey, why not? Here, hang on 1 second.
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week, and I trying to think. I did that on the Tuesday show, so I will have to only be able to go back a couple days, but that's okay. I haven't really smoked. Well, I have smoked plenty, but I haven't smoked a lot of variety. So, there might be some of my regular go-tos on that. But anyway.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. So that's fine. So
some things are worth repeating.
There you go. So what's your first one?
Oh, you know what, Nick? I'm not prepared for this.
Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me.
I suggested a bit. So I'm going to have to pull up the pictures here. But off the top of my head, last night I smoked the collaboration between Aladino and Punch Cigars, the Golden Leaf.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yes.
And I did that in the short Robusto.
Okay.
And I paired it with bourbon, and I must say, it was a good cigar, very smooth. The Honduran tobacco really comes through.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of, especially in the Robustos, I was kind of anticipating more of that Corojo spice.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
not. That's the thing. It's made by Julio, or it was blended by Julio. Aroa for Punch, and it does use their tobacco and stuff. But yes, it's not like your typical Aladino. It's not like he just slapped a Punch
right.
band on an Aladino, so you don't quite get the same Corojo spice punch to
Yeah,
it.
it was no pun intended, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Now that you
It,
say it.
it was a definite collab for sure. And you
Yeah.
could see elements of Punch. You could see it. Um, I I paired it with bourbon, and even though it was a lower proof bourbon, it just I kind of felt like the bourbon overpowered the cigar.
Okay.
So it was a very good cigar, a very smooth cigar. Like I said, the Honduran tobacco really came through, real kind of hay and creamy. But yeah, the bourbon kind of overpowered everything. But yeah, that was my number one. The Punch and Aladino collab,
There
the
you go.
Golden Leaf.
All right. So my first one, I've smoked 3 of them in the last 3 days. So I got to go with it. It's the Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown Churchill. It's one of my go-tos. It's got the right amount of spice and body and strength and everything to it. I like the Churchills because I smoked 2 of them on Tuesday when I was doing layout and everything for the newspaper, and then I smoked 1 of them yesterday while I was driving and doing my deliveries. And I like the Churchills because they are longer, so you get more smoke time out of them. And, that's in the situations that I was in, that was ideal for me. So it worked out really well. But yeah, I go to that one a lot.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of cigars too. Is like different sizes for different occasions, right?
For sure.
And then yeah, something that's just familiar. It just hits those chords. So
It's the best
good
way of
cigar.
doing it. Best way of doing
Good
it.
cigar. I just referenced my picks, so I'm amped and ready to go here now. My number 2 would be Memorial Day. A special occasion. Not that it's a somber occasion,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna say it's a somber holiday. I don't even like
yeah,
calling it a holiday, but it
it's a
technically, I guess, is.
remembrance. I don't know, but I felt obligated as an American to smoke something special. And I dug in the humidor there, and I found J.C. Newman. Fuck, no, I'm drawing the name.
The American.
No.
Oh.
That would have been a good choice. I went a little more high end. Diamond Crown.
Oh, okay.
Diamond Crown Maduro.
Oh, good cigar.
A good cigar. That broadleaf really comes through. Really
Yeah.
balanced. Really performed really well. Really good cigar. I got in the Toro size. I got a good 2.5 out of that. So
Okay.
slow smoke, just all the way through. Just an excellent cigar.
That's fantastic. Well, keeping on the J.C. Newman train, my second one, I in my travels yesterday tracked down a box of the 2024 Yaguas, and so that's one of those ones that when you see it, if there's boxes available, you got to pounce on it because they're going to go quick, and it's going to be a while before you see them again. So I went ahead and got one. I still had a couple from the prior box that I had bought. Oh, God, and I'm trying to think. That box that I bought prior might have been from 2022, late 22. So I can stretch these out quite a bit. But yeah, I did go ahead and purchase a box of the Aguas. And the thing about that too is, not to completely like shill, but yeah, I mean, my Tuesday show this week was all about how to save money and still support your brick and mortar shop. And so I'll give a shout out to Captain Z's. I stopped through Captain Z's on Wednesday, and they had 2 boxes of the Aguas. They had 1 on display, and they had 2 unopened ones. And I grabbed one of the unopened ones, And the beauty with Captain Z's is if you buy 15 cigars or more, you get a 15% discount. So I got a 15% off, that box because there were more than 15 cigars in the box. So, pay attention to the deals that your local shop is offering because you can definitely save money if you take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that's another cigar, kind of like the one we smoked tonight, where it's just like the taste and the performance is not applicable to the price at all.
No, not at all. I mean, I think singles were going for like $9 and something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
But like,
it's not a $9 cigar.
no,
what I
it's
mean?
not. And you always that one I always get that hay and straw and barnyard kind of component from it.
Sure.
But oh my God, it smokes like a champ. And it's also a slow smoke. If you try and puff through that thing quick, you're going to end up with runs in the burn line quite a bit. So you really have to take your time with that cigar. So I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, it's one of the best offerings, or not maybe really the best, but one of my favorite offerings of these.
Yeah. So what's your number 3?
Like we were talking about earlier, just kind of the tried and true and familiarity. I got a new bottle of bourbon, so naturally I had to pair that with the Perdomo champagne 10th anniversary. Just that bourbon barrel aging they do in that wrapper just really pairs so well with the bourbon, and it's a great combination. It's just a tried and true. Just every time, just that familiarity hits me where I want to get hit, and it's just with the scratch I have and all the cliches out there, just great, great combination.
There you go. And you know what? It's a fantastic cigar. I used to smoke the hell out of them. I've moved on to that Habano Sun-Grown that they've got, but every once in a while I circle back to that champagne. And I always think to myself as I'm smoking it, like, why do I not smoke these more regularly? You know? And, no.
Yeah, much like your conversation a little while ago about the Patrons, it's like,
yeah.
I totally understand. And like, I don't know what podcast you had referenced this on, but generally a new cigar smoker, you're going to offer them a Connecticut shade, but if you offered a virgin cigar smoker,
don't do that. Don't do that. No,
you're not gonna have a second cigar.
No, the champagne is not for the weak of heart. I mean, it's a high nicotine content in that cigar. I mean, you will know you're smoking a cigar as you're smoking that thing. So,
it's for sure. Yeah,
for sure. My last one is one that I smoked on the show with Joel just the other evening in the bonus episode. I smoked the Aladino Dark Sumatra Toro. That was the PCA exclusive cigar last year, and I had one of them left over, and I smoked that with Joel, and fantastic cigar. It's really good. It was one of their strongest offerings yet at the time. I'm really anxious to try the Fuminoche. I haven't yet, and
you haven't tried the Fuminoche.
I have not tried the Fuminoche yet.
I have. I ordered some with my last order from two guys, and I got some in the humidor, and I've yet to try it myself. But
okay,
I'm excited. I'm waiting for the right occasion. So
no, I think it'll be a great. By all rights, everybody's saying how great it is. So I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. So yep. Well, very cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll hit the socials here real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. So I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I have the Pulpit Parishioners Facebook group. You can get in on the fun there. Twitter/X, and you can watch this on YouTube. And where can everybody follow you?
I'm on Mr. Zeleznik at IG, Instagram. That's the only social media I have. So
there you go.
It's mostly just cigar photos and snake photos. If you like either of those things, give me a follow.
There you go. All right. Well, Noah, thank you so much for taking time out tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad to be the ears for your bench there. Hopefully, you'll sleep better tonight.
Well,
chest.
Yeah.
I would say that, although it sounds like you might have some construction to sleep.
Well, I'll have construction to wake up to, but I hope I don't have any construction going on overnight. So
They'd be real dicks if they did
yeah, I'd be having some calls with some landlords. Realistically, I'm gonna have some words with my landlord after I'm all said and done here anyway about starting at 7:15 in the fucking morning. And also like, hey, by the way, maybe check with your tenant to see if he works from home. But whatever.
That's just like kind of like you never call anybody like before 9 a.m. Wasn't that just like
that used
courtesy?
to be the courtesy? Yeah, exactly. But apparently hammering and sanding and screaming through the unit at one another, that's perfectly okay at 7:15 in the morning. So whatever.
Oh, I feel for you, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's what it is. It's one of those things. When I had the elderly lady living next to me, for all the time prior, she never made a peep. And
was she alive?
She was. Okay. She is alive. I mean, she moved out and moved to assisted living, and that's when the unit opened up, and that was also conveniently when the new guy bought the duplex and started doing the renovation work. So, such is life. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I tell you what. Think of positive things like perhaps the upcoming Pulpit Fest. 2024.
I'm looking forward to it.
I tell you what, I've come to the point now where I am crossing days off the calendar.
Dude, it's gonna be a good time, and let me tell you, the gift pack and everything, it's gonna be wonderful. I mean, it's just gonna be so much fun. And for anybody who didn't get in on that, I feel sorry for you. This is gonna be a wonderful time. But there's always next year. Just sit back and wait for the announcement for next year and be ready to pounce because it's gonna be great.
Not to kind of count chickens before they're hatched or anything, but I'm assuming this is going to be a huge success and a huge hit.
Boy, I hope so.
And I kind of like the idea. I know you had talked about it as kind of like a trial thing, but as a, if this goes good, kind of like a Pulpit Fest on tour sort of thing for future years.
Yeah.
Showcasing different shops, and I kind of see that happening.
I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Take it to Texas and go down to see the good cigar.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Take it to New Hampshire and visit Two Guys. I mean, like, there's all kinds of places we could take this.
Yeah.
Yep.
But definitely excited for August. Seeing my cigar buddies and seeing the faces and voices behind the pulpit, and talking with Renee and seeing Ken and just getting some sun down in wonderful Florida.
Exactly. You're gonna be down in. I mean, granted, it's gonna be hotter than shit, but it's gonna be a good time.
Man. Yeah, we're making a vacation out of it, so we're going down. God, I want to say that Wednesday. Is that all right?
Probably.
Coming back that Wednesday. I want to say it's like Wednesday to Monday, something like that.
You and I are shit. We're all right. Well, we'll talk after I stop recording because I'm also down there Wednesday to Friday, or Wednesday to Monday. Yeah, it's like, yeah, shit. I'm skipping Pulpit Fest. I'm only down there Wednesday to Friday, but
I won't be attending this year.
Yeah, exactly. I'm setting it all up, but screw you guys. I'm going home. No, yeah, I'm also down there Wednesday to Monday. So, yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, interesting. All right. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And Noah, thanks again for your time.
My pleasure, man. Nice talking to you as always.
Nice talking to you. Well, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
This is Noah.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. The movie wasn't any good, but I used to love the Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons.
I can't say I'm very familiar. No, I should. Yeah, Natasha, right? Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, and in all fairness, it was George Costanza that played Boris in the movie.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, it's not like it was nobody in that movie. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I did not see that coming, but yeah, more power to you.
Hey, I had to stretch the list out just a little bit more. So, thanks, guys.